Hey, what is up guys? GuitarRock here, welcome back to another Brown Dust 2 video. Now, let's talk about a couple of things for beginners, alright? If you guys are new coming to Brown Dust 2, hopefully this guide will be able to help you guys a little bit. Alright, so this is going to be the team building guide on how you want to build teams early on. Now, the emphasis here is going to be early on, so keep that in mind. If you are a late game player, everything that I teach here is not going to matter to you as much because you gotta use like your stronger characters, right? But as a new player, if you are starting out, things are going to be a little bit different, alright? So let's first talk about rerolling, right? So if you are new, you're probably going to want to reroll right here there's a banner in the beginner's banner, right? So that will allow you to reroll your character of choice. Now, who is going to be the best option for you to reroll? Now, in terms of the SSR character, or in terms of the high rarity characters, right now, there are a couple of options that you can consider. Number one is going to be Justia. Alright, now she might not be that good of an option, but then again, it's going to be dependent on later on, because right now, the developers are saying that they're going to buff one of her version, the upcoming swimsuit version. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that, so keep that in mind. So we're going to have the limited coming soon. We're going to have Sherazad and Justia, and apparently this particular version, Justia costume is going to be completely reworked. Now, if you have a Justia costume right now and you plan to pull for this variant during the limited summer event, you're going to have, your Justia is going to have two skills. If you guys are not aware, how this game works is your costume is going to be your skill. Alright, so right now, my Justia, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 costumes. That means my Justia has 5 skills to choose from in the battle. Now, hopefully that makes sense. If you pull for the Justia, for the limited Justia during the swimsuit summer event, limited swimsuit Justia, I don't know how strong she's going to be. That rework skill, we got to look at it later on, right? But for now, definitely having an extra skill is going to be a benefit to you. So I still think Justia might have the potential, although there's going to be a separate Justia later on in the game that will be able to crit, because the Justia is apparently weaker right now because she's still good early game, but it's just late game she falls off because she's a fixed damage dealer, right? So hopefully you guys are aware of that. So she's still going to be one of the better, I would say, like SSR character to obtain, right? Alongside with that, if you don't want Justia, Ileana could be an option that you can consider. Now, Ileana is a good option, right? However, she can be a little bit, finicky to use for new players, and she's a dark type as well, right? So without any dupes, she doesn't do much, but if you get her to +3, she's going to be a 2 SP cost character, physical damage dealer as well. Not bad. Alright, another option is going to be Celia. I think Celia is going to be pretty safe. I think Celia is going to be a character that a lot of players will be able to benefit from. You can see she attacks 7 times and she basically will decrease the enemy's attack by 35%. So these are going to be all these 3 options is going to be pretty good for the SSR character. But for the 4-star character, I recommend Cry. Cry is going to be a very, very strong character. So you want to try to get Cry alongside with one of these 5-star that I mentioned. Either Justia, Ileana, or Celia. So those are going to be the best option that I can think of for now. I don't think it's going to matter that much, alright? But when you're rerolling, alright, see if you can get Cry's UR weapon. Alright, UR weapon is going to be something that's much more difficult to obtain. It's going to be this particular one. If you can obtain Cry's UR weapon, it's going to increase or boost your damage from him even further in battle. Now let's talk about building a team then. If you are new to the game, how should you build a team? Ideally. So I've made this simple chart. Hopefully this is going to be able to help you guys a little bit more in determining who you want to build. Now, it's going to come down to what team you want to build, either physical or magical. Alright, so this is going to be how the game is going to be dictated upon, right? So if you are, you prefer to go physical type, I do think that physical is going to be much easier to build for newer players, because Arenes is going to be the supporter for the physical team, and then Elpis right here is going to be supporter for magical team. Now, eventually, if you play the game in the long run, Elpis will be replaced by the B rank idol Helena. She's going to be a better buffer by far. Now, the problem is right now, if you look in the game, there's definitely more physical characters. These are all the physical characters versus magical characters. So these are the magical damage dealers. Alright, so you can see there's definitely more physical than magical, and also a lot of the magic damage dealers are, some of them are supporter, like Diana is a supporter, Helena is a supporter, she's a supporter, right? So it's like most of these don't really even, you know, some of them are just, you know, just debuffers and supporters. There's not much damage dealers. But LPs is a very strong character. Like I mentioned, you can see right here, her +5 gives 70% magic attack and 35% crit rate. However, eventually you will replace her with this variant of Helena, where this one gives magic attack 75% and 50% crit rate. Alright, that's going to be way better, and she's also a 1 SP as well compared to LPs, which is a 2 SP. So early on, if you want to build a magic team, LPs is going to be your best bet because Helena needs lots of dupes. You want to +5 her. So that's going to be like a very, very expensive investment for a new player early on, plus there's just no way unless you whale like crazy, right? So LPs is going to be how you want to build your magic team. Now, both route is, you know, ideally in the end game, once you go into the later game, you want to diversify. You want to build both teams, all right? Both physical and magical, and you have to, because there's one tower that's like built for physical, one tower is like for magical only. So you cannot only have one team, right? But early on, this is my advice, focus on one first. Now, physical, like I mentioned, is going to be much easier. Number one, Arenes is a 3-star. Alright, so if you guys are not aware, Arenes is going to be a character that you can build, you know, plenty of characters upon. She is going to be a 3-star. That makes her easier to build. That makes her easier to +5 as well. As you can see, all she does is increase attack by 70%, increase crit rate by 30%. Very, very simple, very straightforward. Boost attack and boost crit rate percentage. Now, if you are building a physical team, like I mentioned, alright, so these are the characters that you can consider recruiting or using, right? So remember earlier, the option I mentioned about the rerolling, you can either reroll for Justia, alright, which is right here, and then you can go for Elena, which is also going to fit right here. Justia or Elena will basically fit in a physical team. Now, Wiggle and Cry. These two are very, very good budget option. In fact, until today, if you move into the late game, Cry and Wiggle can still be used. Both are really strong character. Alright, so definitely consider them as an option. Now, what makes Wiggle so strong is his multiplier. Alright, this guy has insane multiplier right here. Alright, 500% of attack for 3 SP in this cross tile range is unheard of. Alright, even with 3-star, even with the lack of stats for being a 3-star, this guy does a lot of damage. So if you are building a physical team, early on, Wiggle will carry you all the way to the hard campaign. Alright, very, very easy. Definitely consider pushing him a little bit, building him all the way to level 60, because for 3-stars, you can only go up to level 60, right? Plus, because he's 3-star, you will be able to get both his costumes as well, right? So this one is going to be a bit expensive, 5 SP. I don't really recommend getting this, but I guess if you want to, you can consider potential liberating them. But it's going to be a little bit of a waste because you are going to use these Tears of Goddess thing, and these things are quite rare. I would rather use this on the 5-star characters, but you know, if you think you're going to use them a lot, that could be an option, I guess. Now, Cry, pretty straightforward. Cry has 2 costumes. Alright, this costume is going to do a ton of damage. Again, big range. Wiggle and Cry complement each other so well because of their tile range. Alright, Wiggle is in the cross tile while Cry is in like this X tile, right? So whatever enemy that you cannot hit in the cross, you can hit in the X tile. So they are like so good that makes physical team like so flexible in terms of new players, you know, flexibility. And plus, this guy can also decrease defense as well. Decreasing defense, further boosting Wiggle's attack. So let's say you let Cry move first, alright, to decrease defense, and then Wiggle go move in later, you're gonna get that increased damage boost. Also, his other costume, this particular one, alright, the what is this costume called? There's a name for it, right? The student costume. This one gives SP cost, alright, battery. So that means you are able to generate more SP to use skill for the next turn. In case you are in the long fight, you can consider doing this. Plus, this is a very, very strong costume. If you use this in PvE, and if the enemy can be knocked back, most of the time the enemy is gonna die from the hit. I've never seen the enemies survive Cry's pushback or knockback damage, right? It's just insane boost. Alright, so obviously if you want to, you can even increase the damage even further, or this one increase the range if you want to, right? You can consider increasing the range. Like I say, I wouldn't recommend it because these are 4-star characters, but definitely these two are going to be a very, very good option. Now the next one is going to be, like I mentioned, Justia, and then we have Leatrice right here. Now let's talk a little bit more about Leatrice. If you are pushing in the story early on, as a new player, what you want to do, you want to go right here, go to all of these, alright, push the story chapter, alright, you want to start from chapter 1, alright, push to chapter 2, push to chapter 3, push all the way as far as you can, alright, after you beat the easy one, then you want to beat the hard one, and then you want to beat the very hard. So how do you unlock the normal, how do you unlock the hard and very hard? A lot of people have been asking me that question as well. So for new players watching this, let me just show you guys. Every single town, you can talk to this girl called Ellen. So Ellen is usually in the main town, alright, the main town here. So this is her icon, that little girl icon, that girl icon, that's her. So she's the one sitting above the TV. So you just gotta find her. Once you complete the normal, go and talk to her, then you will have the ability to unlock hard. So this girl right here. So you can find her in the town in every chapter, right? Just talk to her. And then you have that option. I already unlocked, so I only have this option, but there's one more option called like unlock the quest or something like that. So that's how you unlock the hard and the very hard. So make sure you do that for every single stage. You're going to get plenty of resources along the way. Now every single chapter that you unlock will give you ability to unlock some characters. Now the first chapter you get Justia for free, second chapter you get Sherazade for free, third chapter you get Grey for free. Now I believe at chapter 7, I want to say chapter 7, was it this one? No, it was this one. I want to say the Bloody Rhapsody is this particular one. Once you beat the normal, you will have an option. I can't remember, it's been so long for me, so again I cannot remember exactly. But you do get Leatrice. I can't remember if you obtain Leatrice for free or do you like get her in the pub. Basically you gotta like some chapter you gotta unlock, you gotta beat the story to unlock certain characters in the pub, and I'm pretty sure it's this particular one. So beat up to this chapter, hopefully you unlock one copy of Leatrice. So that's something to keep in mind, right? So get her. Leatrice is a very, very strong character. So Leatrice is going to be probably the most important equation right here out of all of this character. Now why is she important? Because she's probably the most future-proof character. Like she is probably, out of this bunch, I would say she is probably the most future-proof character, the most important character that you want to try to rush to get early on. Because it makes sense to invest in her. This particular costume does so much. Alright, let me show you guys. Number one, look at this range. Alright, so you guys saw how earlier we saw the range for Wiggle. He has that cross, Cry has that axe. Now Leatrice has this particular 3x3 tile range. It's insane. Now the SP is a little bit high. Alright, you can see use SP 6 right here at +2. Alright, +0, +1, +2, but at +3 you're able to reduce this to +5. SP of 5, and then if you potentially liberate her even further, she has one that reduces her SP to 4. Once at 4 cost for this tile range, she's going to be a beast. She's going to be a monster. She's going to one-shot everything. And later on, if you can unlock the mid Leatrice, this is like by far one of the strongest costume in the game. Hopefully, you know, if you can unlock this particular one alongside with this one as well, later on, this is going to be like insanely strong for PvP as well because of this particular, look at this tile range, right? So Leatrice is one of the strongest character by far. If you're talking about physical damage dealer in the game, I can definitely vouch for her. I think she's easily in the top 3, if not top 5, right? So right now, if you're looking to build any character, in my humble opinion, fire type character, she's the go-to for me, alright? She's the reason why right now the collab characters doesn't seem that impressive, is because one of these character, what's her name? Ares right here, sort of competes with her, right? Because Ares is also a limited character, but she's going to be a fire physical type. Alright, so she competes with Leatrice in a way, and Leatrice is permanent. You can basically, you know, get the costume, everything. So highly recommend you guys to consider Leatrice as an option. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the physical team, right? So now let's talk about the magic team. If you are building a magic team, what should you consider building? Early on, like I said, LPs is going to be the one that you're going to be able to obtain. Now let's look at the character options that we have. Now let's first talk about Dalvi right here. So Dalvi, if you guys are not aware, she is going to be a magic type character and everybody is going to get her for free. Now there's a chance that she, you know, building magical team might be better. You know, I don't know, because as of the time of me recording this video, I don't know what Dalvi is going to do. Alright, everybody is going to get a free swimsuit Dalvi plus 5. So there's a chance that building Dalvi or building a magical team is going to be better if you're starting off right now during the first anniversary. However, as of the time of me making this video, I have no idea what Dalvi will do yet or what her skills will do, right? So right now, Dalvi is a wind type magic damage dealer. As you can see, she already has one costume in the game. And this is going to be a costume that transforms her into a fox, and she can basically attack in this tile range. Alright, very, very interesting tile range right here. And she's gonna do magic damage. Alright, so you can see 160%. Alright, so this is going to, you know, if you go up a little bit, it does, I believe, just more damage. And at the end, she will be able to also create an energy guard, which is very, very strong. Makes her a little bit tankier as well. If you have potentially liberate her, she goes to 3 SP. So she's definitely one of the strongest or one of the stronger wind type characters right now for the magical magic damage dealer, right? So she is going to be a little bit expensive though, because this costume you might not have access to this, but the swimsuit one, again, we'll have to wait and see. This might just be a buffer or might just be a, you know, something that gives the SP regen. So no idea if this Dalvi is going to be something that new players will be able to benefit fully from. I hope so. So that means new players is going to be much more better making a physical damage dealer. Now let's talk about the other characters first. Let's talk about Maria. Maria is going to be one of the better 3-star character. She does a lot of damage. This girl is insane. Do not sleep on her, right? She's been carrying me in the tower. Like, her damage is on par with some of the 5 stars actually, despite her being a 3-star. The downside of her is she only has one costume, right? She doesn't seem that future-proof, but for now, I feel like she carries me in some end game, so I would consider her future-proof enough. She is a 4 SP cost unit, and her tile range is going to be hitting 3 tile in front, which is going to be decent, but you know, I wish she has more costumes, so you know, giving her more flexibility. So Maria definitely is, she's going to be the magical version of Wiggle in this case, right? So Wiggle is a 3-star that you want to build for physical damage dealer. I would say Maria for magic damage dealer. Now next up, Sherazad. If you want to, you can consider rerolling for Sherazad as well. So I do think that Sherazad is extremely future-proof. Sherazad is going to be very, very strong. Now, I don't think there's a downside to building Sherazad. I do think that Sherazad is one of, if not the strongest magic damage dealer right now. So she is, right now, she has 4 costumes in total, alright? And you get 1 copy of this for free if you finish chapter 2. And if you want to, you can basically, I'm pretty sure she is also rerollable, so you can try to reroll for her as well. 1 extra copy if you want to. And later on, if you intend to, you can basically pull for this costume as well. Now, this pool party Sherazad is a meta character in PvP. She's one of the strongest characters in PvP because she has an ability to remove the target's buff effect. And PvP, magic team is just much more favored right now because of her. Basically, she's the, I wouldn't say because of her, I would say because of Grand Hilde. Grand Hilde's taunt is so broken that she's the only character in the game that can remove buff. And I mean, there's a couple of characters that can remove buff, but because Magic Team is meta, because of Helena, 1 SP, there's a lot of complexity to it. I don't want to talk about PvP too much. I don't want to like overwhelm you guys with, you know, the complexity of PvP. But this is a new player's guide, so I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, right? So this girl right here, if you guys don't believe me, you can check right here in the top rankings, right? The leaderboard's popular costume, you can see in PvP right now, alright, in the offense, the top 4 pool party Sherazade is right here. So she is literally ranking number 4. Alright. She was a limited character, so there's a reason why she's ranking number 4. I have a feeling once her rerun comes, you know, in a few days, she's gonna be number 1. Alright, everybody's gonna start using her, pulling for her again, because you cannot obtain her for the longest time ever. For a limited character to be top 4, that's pretty nuts actually. So yes, do not sleep on Sherazade. She's one of the stronger character, one of the strongest magic damage dealer right now. Next up, Samei. Alright, let's talk a little bit more about Samei, because I don't think she received or she is getting as much recognition as she deserves to. So she is going to be a very strong character for magical damage dealers or magical build, magical team. She has plenty of potential. There's 2 costumes for her, right? So this is going to be the go-to costume for doing damage. The range is pretty decent, as you can see right there. And as you can see, she does 200% of magic attack, and she can also decrease magic resist by 50%. So she's going to be the magic version of Cry. Cry decrease defense and hit in the cross tile, whereas for Samei, she hits in this tile, a little bit of a different tile right there, but decrease magic resist by 50%. So not too bad overall. She also has this other costume. That's a very strong costume that can boost both attack and magic attack, can also heal allies. Very, very cool. And this is one of the few costumes in the game that goes to 0 SP if you potentially liberate it. That means it doesn't take any cost at all. Pretty bonkers. So that is going to be pretty much how you want to build each team early on. Alright, early on for physical and magical team. Now you might have noticed that I've put someone in the middle, Angelica. So Angelica fits in both physical team and magical team. Angelica is going to be a very, very flexible character. Now let me explain why. There's a lot of new players that still don't really understand, so I'm going to try my best to explain. Angelica is a very, very strong character in the game because you can see she does damage, even though right here it says magic damage, but her damage scales off target's max HP. So it doesn't matter how much magic damage you buff her, if the target's max HP is very little, she doesn't do much damage, which is why she's a very strong contender to fight in a lot of the hard stages against bosses and stuff. She does a lot of damage if she crits. Alright, the keynote is if she crits. She needs to crit. If your Angelica have low crit rate, or your team have low crit rate, she doesn't really do much. So, you know, what a lot of players like to do is whenever they use her in a team, you can try to restart the fight over and over and over again until she crit, and then you can see she does a lot of damage. So you can see, you know, 70% of the target's max HP, that is a lot. Alright, for 2 SP right here, this Angelica costume is attainable for free. Alright, she is going to be someone that you can obtain for free. You can obtain her, I believe, in the pub. She is going to be random, so by default it's going to be 30%, but if you go all the way up here, it goes up to 70% max. So for new player, you will be getting the you know, the weaker version of her 30%, but still this tile is very, very good. Plus her damage to SP ratio is really, really high. For 2 SP, she actually does way more than a lot of characters in the game for this particular costume. Now, if you can obtain the swimsuit Angelica version, I don't think this version is rerollable, but if you can try to obtain this as well, this is going to be an insane bonkers costume for any new player to obtain. If you started recently, unfortunately, she's not available right now, but Angelica was available in the previous Powder of Hope shop, which some of you guys might have missed, I believe in the previous season, right? So in the current Powder of Hope, we have Rubia, Medical Club Therese, B-Rank Ada Helena, and lovely Lady Alice. You know, probably Medical Club Therese is probably the best one out of this if you are looking for a supporter buffer, or if you're looking for a physical damage dealer, it's going to be this particular one. But yeah, you can see we are not getting, you know, since Angelica has been gone away for now. But you know, I hope this video can be helpful for some of you guys out there who are starting Brown Dust 2 today. Make sure you guys, you know, start building some of these characters. Hopefully this is going to be a pretty simple guide, team building guide for the beginners out there. Alright, let me do my free daily pulls and see if I can get... Ooh, I'm gonna get a guarantee 5-star. Who do I want a guarantee 5-star of? I am at 99, so this is going to guarantee my 5-star, so let's see then. Oh, Is this a Roxy? No, it's not a Roxy, because I didn't get an achievement. Oh, I got a Seer. Wait, is this new for me? So this is going to be my guarantee B-rank idol Seer. Alright, not quite who I wanted. But hey, the banner is going away soon for the limited. So if you guys are still pulling or still deciding to pull, you have like 2 more days to decide, alright? Because at this point, you know, I might do a last minute pull. Oh! Wait. That's a gear. That's a gear. Is this a UR? I got pretty lucky right here. Ice and a tone for it. Glacier? Oh yeah, Glacier. I think I already have this. Yeah, I already have that. So yeah, especially for the weapon, it's going to be very expensive. But I do recommend if you want to pull for weapon, last day. Wait for last day before you pull for it. That's going to make the most sense. But yeah, that's going to be it for this particular video. Let me show you guys the chart again. This ugly looking chart that I make. If you guys want to screenshot this, feel free to do that as well. Yep, as always, you know, subscribe if you guys haven't already. Give this video a like. I'll definitely make more Brown Dust 2 guides in the upcoming days. You know, building up to the first anniversary. Hopefully, you know, get you guys ready if you guys want to start Brown Dust 2 as well. With that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day. And of course, goodbye. Subscribe.